From there, you can open up the Book Bolt Designer, which we've actually just finished rebuilding from the ground up. I think you guys are really going to like this. This is going to open up what we are calling the Book Bolt Studio, and this is pretty much a full software that you will have access to create your covers, to create your interiors, as well as a ton of pre-made templates. So let's go ahead and open that up. Now, when you first get inside the studio or click over to the studio, you're going to see this page right here. Simply log in with your username and password, and let's go ahead and do that. Now, you see I already have a project going in the background, but if this is the first time you've ever logged in to the studio, you're going to see a page that looks exactly like this. This is going to create a new project for you. So first, you need to figure out what type of project you actually want to create. Remember, on KDP, you can sell paperback books, you can sell hardcover books, you can do custom sizes, but I highly recommend that if you watch the previous video, you want to use the research, figure out what books are selling in the niche that you want to create in, and create the same type of product, because that has been proven to sell through. So in this case, you can pick a paperback cover and interior, which means you'll be creating both at the same time. But if you want to create one or the other, you can also do that. We do have the option to create custom sizes in here, but this I would recommend not to do. If you're just getting started, stick with either paperback or hardcovers, and most of the time you're going to be selecting paperback. So I'm going to select paperback, and we're going to give this project a name. We're going to say that this is the training videos or training video project, and the trim size. Go back, look at your research. What books are selling in the niche you want to create in? Are they 8.5 by 11s? Are they 6 by 9s? We have all the KDP sizes directly in here. So I'm going to go ahead and select 6 by 9, as well as the interior and paper type, which I recommend you keep at black and white interior with white paper. This is going to mean that when you publish to KDP, you're going to make the highest margins you can, because that's the lowest printing cost from Amazon. We also do have the other ones in here, but I'm going to select interior and paper type as black and white with white paper. I'm going to select bleed, and I'm going to enter 100 pages. Now, the page count that you enter needs to be what the research shows is actually selling on Amazon. So again, if you haven't seen that first video, go back, watch that video. Look through all of the results. That's going to tell you what customers on Amazon are actually purchasing, so that by the time you're creating the products, you're creating the same type of product that people actually want to buy. And then we're going to go ahead and click Create Project, and you will see right here the entire project is created for you. You see the name up here in the top menu. You'll see the cover template. Remember, the left side is going to be the back of your book, and the right side is going to be the cover. And on the left side here, you see that you have the cover as well as all 100 different pages. I can scroll down here to the bottom, and you'll see 100 different pages. Now, there's a lot of tools inside of this software, and the first thing you want to see, or want to do rather, is this cover template right here. You can't really place anything over it. We have that there to help you align everything on your cover. So if you don't want to see that, or you want to change it, come up here and select cover, and then we're going to either turn the opacity down so you can still see it, but don't worry, this isn't going to download on your final product, or we can just hide it altogether. Now, before we get creating, okay, we want to make sure that we actually have some grid lines on this page to help us align things when we are adding them. So I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to select these grid lines, and I can add vertical lines or horizontal lines. Okay, so we've set that up, but I'm also going to add a grid over the top of it. And I'm just going to put 10 for the columns, 10 for the rows, and that is going to place in the actual template these grid lines to help me align everything when I am building out my product. Okay, so we have that good to go, and now the next step is we need to select a background color for our cover template. Remember, this is the cover on the front. This is what's going to show up on Amazon, and this is going to be the back cover. If you ever get stuck and you're wondering, hey, I don't really know, come up to the cover, make sure it's selected, and you can actually turn that template back on, so you know, all right, here it is, cover template, left to right, 6 by 9 book, exactly what the dimensions are. Now we need to select a paper color, so right here in the top menu, depending on what page you have selected, you will see paper color. So we can go ahead and select that and play around with this. You can pick anything under the sun. You can select different types of colors if you already have something on the page, right? So this is all highly, highly, highly customizable. And I might go with something a little kind of dark gray-ish. I think that looks pretty good, and we will click OK. At any point, if you want to keep these open, you can actually just drag them around the screen, but since that's okay, I'm going to click OK. Now, taking a look at this template here, these are going to be the cut lines when you send this product to KDP, so you want to make sure if you're adding any text that you are not adding it outside of the green boundaries, and again, this is not going to print on the final project. So we're focusing on the cover first, and then after the cover, we're going to go through creating the interior, but we're going to create a sloth related book. Okay, so in order to do that, we need a picture of a sloth. You can come over here to this menu. Okay, so in the menu on the left, that's where all of your options are going to be. The image where you see two picture frames here, you can click on that, and you see I've already uploaded a sloth SVG. Now, an SVG stands for a vector file, but I'm going to go ahead and just delete that because I want to go through the entire process to show you how this works. You can either upload your own graphics, or you can come over here to Pixabay and type in sloth and see what they have available. If you don't like any of these, what I do recommend is for you to come to My Uploads and upload your own. Now, where on earth would you get a picture of a sloth that is free for commercial use if you aren't an artist? I like to recommend this website right here. It's called openclipart.org. The reason I like to recommend this is if you scroll all the way to the bottom and you go to the licensing tab, this is really important. No matter where you're getting your images, you need to make sure that you're not infringing on anyone else's intellectual property rights. So we come down here and we always look at the license. And right here it says, can I use clip arts for commercial use? And this is really important because we're going to be selling these commercially and making money off of them. So we need to have the right rights. And we can read here, we try to make it clear that you may use all clip art from OpenClipArt, even for unlimited commercial use. We believe that giving away our images is a great way to share with the world our talents and that will come back around in better form. That means you may use the clip art commercially for education, for church, for school, for your job, or even to manufacture products globally. So even though we are not the manufacturer, that is basically Amazon, we are creating these products and selling them all over the world. So that's perfect. We're going to go up, openclipart.org. We're going to type in sloth. And this is actually the image. I think this is the image that I had downloaded onto my computer. So you can click in here. You'll notice you have a few different options. You can download them as PNG files, or you can download them as vector files. If you have the option to download a vector, highly recommend you do, and I'm going to show you why right now. We're going to go back into the studio, and you want to open up this image tab right here, and then we're going to drag in that SVG from the desktop into this image, and then it's clickable. So we'll click on it, and it will add it to the screen. Okay, so the first thing I notice is I don't like the background color. So I'm going to deselect the image and I'm going to change the paper color maybe a little lighter. Okay, so maybe not as blue, maybe something like that. Okay, so now I can actually see the image, so that's great. Now I'm going to select this vector file here, and you'll see all of a sudden on the right-hand corner, these are all your layers. These are all the objects that you're going to be placing on the actual screen. So we see one layer over here, SVG image, awesome. Now what we want to do is you can zoom in at any point so you can actually see this stuff. And if you ever want to fit it back to the screen, at the very bottom you'd click on fit. But I'm going to zoom in so we can actually see what is going on here. Okay, and now you can actually change, if it's a vector file, any color in the image. How do you do that? You make sure it's selected. Okay, once it's selected, come up to the top menu again. You'll have a new menu. You can replace the color. You can change the position and size. You can change the opacity. So if you really wanted them really light, you could do that. I'm going to keep it way up there. So I'm going to replace the color on this. Okay, Let's say that we did not like this log color. So you select the pipette. Okay, you can hover around and notice how it's changing those different numbers right here on the screen. We'll select that color, and then we can change this to anything we want. Okay, so we can make it dark. Maybe I'll make it a little bit lighter. I'm going to just lighten up this entire thing. Okay, so we'll say that's okay. We'll pick a different color, maybe his whole body. All right, and then we'll just lighten him up a bit. Okay. His little paw here, we'll lighten him up a little bit. Okay. I'm just going color by color and just lightening everything up ever so slightly. And then maybe I want the area around his eyes to be a little darker. There we go. Notice I'm just going color by color, changing these ever so slightly. Maybe I want this to be a little lighter. There we go. Okay. So notice how we changed that original image, and now it looks pretty good. So we can zoom back out and we can see exactly what our little sloth looks like. Okay. So notice how I just selected actually one of the lines instead of the image. You can move these around on your screen. And if you notice on my screen, you'll see that this keeps popping up as a circle. It's automatically going to save your progress as you go through. And if you ever get stuck and you want to save it immediately, you just come up to the top menu and click on Save. So now that we have a nice little image here, I am going to add some text. Now, in order to add some text to this, we want to come to the left-hand page, and we'll click on the text menu. And you have a lot of different options. You can do headings, regular multi-line text, curved text, bridge text, text with variants. I am going to try out some circular text, okay? So circular text, once it's selected here, you have a lot of different options at the top, okay? So you can actually edit the text. So I'm just going to put just a girl who loves and see how that looks. I don't really like that. I think it should be on one line. So we can just change this just to girl. And maybe we don't like that font, but I'm going to first change our text effect. Okay, so the baseline, I always change this to the middle because it's going to make the curve look a little bit better. Okay, that's going to be the baseline of where the text actually gets curved. And then we could do outside or inside, but I always change this radius so that it looks better. Okay, there we go. I'm going to not do an ellipse. I'm going to do a circle outside. All right, so everything looks good there, and we're going to change the text right here, text color, to, I'm not liking that pink. There we go. There's white. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Or maybe I want to change the text color to a portion of the sloth. The way you do that is you just select this, select the pipette, select, and there you go, right? But that doesn't look very good. Maybe his face color. All right, let's try that. Let's try that. Okay, so we can come up here and we can add a background color if we wanted. I'm not going to do that. I am going to add a stroke color. So a stroke color is going to be the color around the text. So I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see this. Okay, close that out. Now stroke color, I can select black here. Okay, but notice that no stroke is showing up around the letters. The reason why is I would need to select OK and change the pixels right here. Okay, so there, all of a sudden, our text pops out a little bit more. I'm going to zoom out so you guys can see it. Okay, we'll fit that back to the screen. Maybe I want this to be a little bigger. There we go. Something like that. Okay, sticks out just a little bit better. Over here on the right, you can see these pop up and kind of walk you through exactly what we're trying to create here. So if you wanted these to be bigger text size, you can come in here and change it. You can change the spacing in between the words. All right, so maybe I'll just keep that at 0. And again, you can do this in pixels, inches, and centimeters. But we're going to click OK there. But I hate this font, okay? This font is really, really bad. Essentially, we have a bunch of different options in here for free fonts, and we also have the option to upload your own font. So you can come through all of these, and there's literally hundreds of these things in here, and pick out a font that actually you think would work really good with your design. And you can just click on them and you'll see that it changes. Now, that does not look very good to me, but let's see if we have, what else do we have in here? And again, sometimes coming through here, this process could take a little bit of time, but if you ever find one that you really like, you can always click on this little heart, which I will do in 1 second here. Once I find something that looks a little bit more feminine, that's not very feminine. Let's see here. Just going through here, looking for any kind of font that I like. And again, if you have your own fonts on your computer, you can always upload them yourself. So I'm looking for something that maybe might be a little more, there we go. That one looks a lot better, right? A little bit more younger, not as hard of lines. And again, I'm going to come up here, make this, let's see, font size, maybe a little bit bigger, actually maybe a little smaller, something like that. Looks good to me. And let's say I like this font, so I'm going to heart it so I can come back and change this at a different time. Why? Because that's going to show up in your favorite fonts. And you see Cherry Bomb as the font. If you ever wanted to upload your own, you can upload them right here. So just to show you, I've uploaded a few fonts in here. I can simply select them and it's going to change what they look like. Now, in this case, I really, really do not like that. I could just lighten it up a little bit. Remember, I have stroke on here. I could just turn the stroke off and it would look a lot better. But I'm going to keep this at 11. And let's say that we wanted that other font again. We simply select it and we're done. Okay, so just a girl who loves sloths. But now I'm thinking to myself, remember this product over here? This is in all caps. So maybe I should do the same thing. So we're going to come back up here, edit the text, just a girl. All right. Just like that, all right. Now notice it's not fitting on the front page, so I can simply drag this, change that up. Maybe I want my image to be a little bit smaller. I can kind of place him in the center here using the grid lines. All right, just a girl. And then I'm going to add another circular text. Or should I not add a circular text and just have it as a heading? So if you ever want to delete a layer, okay, you see that I added this one. It is selected, and over here in the objects menu, it's selected. You can either hit delete on your keyboard, or you can come over here and delete that layer. So maybe I'll just do a heading. Just a girl who loves. Or maybe should I put it right here in curved text? Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll have this one say sloths. All right, so we'll select that layer. Again, we want to come up here to the text. We'll go to this font. We will change the background color. And the background color you see right here, it doesn't look very good. So I'm going to remove the background color. I'm going to come and change the stroke color. Actually, I'm going to change the color of this first to match this. And then I'm going to add the stroke color as black. And remember, we had set this to 11. Okay, there you go. Just a girl. I could put who loves right here. Or maybe not. Maybe I'll put it up here as curved text again. And maybe you don't want to do anything but do the same thing. I'm going to just copy C, Control, or you can come up here and right-click this and duplicate it. So maybe I'll just do that. And now you see it is duplicated. And then I can come up here and say, who loves. Make it a little smaller. Change the circular text. So notice how it snaps to these lines that we've added, which is really cool. Maybe I'll put it right there. Maybe I'll put this one right here. But notice that looks pretty decent, actually. I'll move this up a little. Just a girl who loves sloths. And this, I might want to change this to look a little bigger, depending, because we made the font a little smaller, just so it looks like it matches. All right, boom, done. Okay, so now we have created a very decent looking cover. I'm still not sure if I like this background color or not. All right, you could make it black, make it pop out a little bit. That's not too bad, huh? Okay, let's go with something like that. So we'll keep that, and then let's put that cover template right over the top so you know exactly where it is on the actual template. We can turn this down just so we can see everything all at once. That is looking pretty good to me. Okay, so now we have a cover created, and we're going to leave the back cover for now, but we may want to come back to it, and I'll show you why in a second. Okay, for now, we're going to keep that the way it is. Now we actually need to fill out the interior pages, right? So if you click over here, you'll see page 1, page 2. These are completely blank, and we need to fill them out with something. Now, if we look at this one right here, this had a cover page to it. This is the front page, the very first page when the customer opens the book. I highly recommend you do this, but with a bit of a twist, okay? The twist I always like to recommend is to put a QR code in your book. That's going to allow you that once you have a book published, so this is pretty much a step that you should take after you've published one book, because once you have one book, you'll have a brand name on Amazon, and you can use your other books that you publish to direct more traffic back to your brand. Okay, so let me show you how that works. In this case, we're going to go page 1. We're going to edit this page. We're not going to change the paper color. We're going to add a heading, and we're going to say, let's see here, this book, and we need to make this a lot smaller. So let me close these out. Okay. This book belongs to. Okay, so right here we're going to have our this book belongs to page, but on the top we're going to put something else. I'm going to put a heading here, and I'm going to say, check out our other journals. Okay, so we'll select this. Again, way too big, you can't read that at all. Check out our other journals, and I want the text to be inside of the outline here. Okay, so we'll just make that, boom. See how it automatically snaps to the center? And right here, I am going to put a QR code. Okay, so how do you do that? We're going to open up a new tab and search for free QR code generator. Now, once you search for free QR code generator, there is one that I like to use. It's right here. It's going to be on the front page of Google, but it's called QR Monkey. And what this does is it creates one of these files for you. And the reason why that's cool is that anyone on their phone, once you create one of these to a URL, will actually go to that page. If they scan it with their phone, they will go to that page on their phone over to Amazon, and you can use this to direct the customers that bought one of your books to your brand to buy even more books. So it's like a self-perpetuating machine of sales. Okay, so let's say, for example, that this is your brand. It's not, so don't do this with a book that's not yours, but you want to head over to their author page, okay, your author page, and you want to copy the URL. Bring it back over into QR Monkey, paste it in here, okay, and then we're going to create QR code. Now, this specific QR code right here is going to bring up this page on Amazon if anyone scans it with their phone. So you could literally scan your computer right now when you're watching this video, and it will bring you up to the page we had just opened. But the way you want to do this is to your own brand name once you have one book online, and then we're just going to download this PNG. You'll see it is being generated. Don't refresh, yada yada. They're going to show you an ad here, and once it's done, it will download. So let me give it a second, and there you go. It is downloaded. And what you want to do here is I'm going to open it up, and we're going to go back into the studio. We're going to go to our images, okay, and I'm going to drag in that QR code. It's going to upload it. I'm going to click it, and then I'm going to paste it right in here, okay, so that the user can actually check out the other journals. And you can make this look a lot nicer by going through and editing all this. Maybe you don't like this font. Maybe you want, a light font, or I think this one was extra bold. You can change all of this. So I'm going to put this up here a little bit. Again, front cover page, looking pretty good. I'll fit this to the page and we'll zoom in a bit. Now we need some lined pages right here. How do we do that? We have built in a lot of different pre-made templates inside of the BookBolt Studio. So the way you want to do that is you're on this page. So select the page, and then you will come over here to this little maze. All right. So when you click the maze, it's going to bring up the entire templates library. Okay. So we have all of them. There are some free ones. There's some ones for pro subscriptions to BookBolt, and you can also like these as well. You'll see there's a ton of different options in here. You have different kind of puzzles. You have to-do lists, waiting lists, shopping trackers, and all of these are built directly inside of the BookBolt Studio. So we want to do a this page belongs to, okay? And we want to do it just on this front page, and we only want lined pages, okay? So we're going to select this one, and you see there's different variants depending on what you picked. So I'm going to do a wide ruled journal because we're doing a Just a Girl Who Loves Sloths book. Okay, so the demographic probably a little bit younger. So we're going to select this one. And then it's going to ask you to pick the pages that you actually want to put this template on. You can select any page you want, but in this case, we want to pick page 1. Okay, just page 1. And we're going to click on Next. Now on this page, finally, before we submit this and actually fill it out, you have the ability to change the margins and edit this template to fit exactly what you are trying to create. So you can add a margin on the top, you can add a margin on the right, the bottom, the left. You can change how big or how much space there is in between the lines. You can change the pixel width or the centimeter or the inch width of the line. So maybe I'll make this 4. I'm going to keep that as is, but you could change these lines to be red. And I'm going to add a margin at the top of, say, 5 inches. Okay? And the reason I'm going to do that is because I don't want to fill out the whole page. I just want them at the very, very bottom. And I'm going to go ahead and click Submit. And just like that, you'll see Check Out Other Journals, and it's added the lined pages, which I can then drag around and edit if I want. But I'm going to keep it just like that because that literally looks perfect. And you'll notice that these are a little bit thicker than you otherwise might get. So now we have our cover page here. We have our intro page here. And this is going to be the first page that shows up when a customer gets the book. Now we need to figure out what are we going to do with all of these other pages. Remember, we did 100 pages, so we have 99 more pages to fill out. That's pretty easy, right? So all you need to do is you'd come over here, you'd select page 2, you'd go back to the maze, and this time, let's say we just want to do a normal journal, or maybe you want the full page to be ruled. I'm going to say I want half of the book to be a journal and half of the book to be ruled. So how do we do that? 3 variants again. We have a wide journal, a college ruled, and a narrow. I'm going to select this one. And right here, I'm going to go through and simply select, right, the pages that I want it to be at. Now I could toggle all, but I'm going to do half of the pages up to page 50 as this one, and I'm going to do the other as maybe just line pages. Or what if I just did this? What if I toggled, let's deselect all. Let's toggle all of the even pages. We don't want that on the cover, right? So we're going to deselect that. So now every other page is going to be a journal page. Okay, so we'll click on Next. And again, we can set the margins, but I'm going to leave everything the same except for the line color. Maybe I want to make those black, okay, instead of that grayish color. Looks good to me. So we'll change this to black as well. And we will click Submit. Just like that. If we zoom in here, you'll notice here's page 2. Okay, so we'll hit to fit. Here's page 2. Let's go to the next page. Page 2. And page 3 is blank because remember we didn't add anything. Page 4. And again, if you zoom in, you'll notice these are actually black. Page 5 is blank, so every other one, right? And you okay, now we need to do page 3, page 5, every other one. Again, same process. You can come in here, go to your variants, and we're going to select this one, wide ruled again, okay? We're going to toggle even. We just toggled even, so we're going to deselect that. We're going to toggle odd, there you go. But you don't want it on page 1, so you deselect that. Everything looks good. Then we'll go to the next page. And again, remember, all I changed was the line color to black. And I'm going to hit submit. All right. Just like that, we have page 1. We filled this out. Page 2 was the journal page. Page 3, just a line notebook page. Page 4, journal page. Page 5, notebook page. So it's incredibly easy. Okay, now what you can do, right, is like you're looking at this and you're thinking, okay, this page right here, I think we need to spice this up slightly so that it looks better on Amazon. It's a better experience for the customer. How do we do that? Well, I'm going to show you. I like to add images in the background of the journal pages, but what I like to do is I'll show you here. We're going to select the same sloth. Okay, and maybe I'm going to put him, maybe I'll put him right in the middle, okay? But that looks horrible. So what can you do? You can come up here and you can change the opacity all the way to where he's barely showing, and then that'll look pretty good. Or what you can do is make him small, okay? And let's just say, for example, I'll show you how this works. So what we're going to do here is we're going to create a pattern out of this little guy. In order to create a pattern, you want to come to the left-hand menu and click this little brick wall. And it's going to say, do you want to create a pattern with the selected objects? And this object is the one that's selected. You can see over here in the right-hand menu. We're going to click OK. And now it's created a pattern, which you can come up here, scale them up, scale them down. You can change the padding of each one of these. You can change what kind of pattern it is. Maybe you want them going across. You can grid. I like vertical, so we're going to do that. Boom. Maybe I want it just like that, so they're sort of showing up. There you go, right? Pattern selected. Maybe I want to make him a little more opaque so that the user can fill it out. And there you go. Super easy. Okay, now let's say here that I really like this page. I can actually clone this page by coming over on the left-hand menu, right-clicking, and I can clone this page to others. And remember, this one right here looks just like the lined journal. Okay, so we'll clone this page, and again, you can come through here, toggle even, but this is an odd page, so we're going to toggle odd. I'm going to turn off that front page. Click on clone. It's going to say contents will be replaced. Okay, all that work we did previously is going to be replaced with these. Are you sure? Absolutely. So we're going to click OK there. And just like that, every other page has this cool sloth design. Okay, so not bad. And you can come back here and do the same exact thing for this one. Let's say you wanted to come in here. We'll add this sloth again. Maybe for this one, all you want to do is put him up here. Okay. I resized him. We will make him like that. Maybe you want to add some text to this page. So maybe you want to come up here, add some text. Maybe you want to add a heading. We're going to, I love sloths. Okay, make that a little smaller. Maybe you want to put that here, we'll drop him down a little bit. Maybe this guy needs to be resized. Maybe you don't want to see that. Maybe you want to change the opacity here as well. Right, so something like that spices up the pages. You put this anywhere you want. You notice we didn't do anything. Maybe you want to mask the image or mask the text. You can do that as well. That's a cool way to put backgrounds on different text. But let's say you just want something just like that. He's actually Or maybe you want 3 slots so we can copy and paste him over. We'll zoom in a little bit here. Oh boy. Fit. I need to reposition that. There we go. All right, just like that. Maybe I'll put this up slightly. All right, looks good, right? Fit. I love Sloss. There you go. Now, again, we're going to come over here, make sure it's saved at the very top. Right-click, clone this page to others. This time we are going to toggle even, but deselect the cover. We're going to clone all that. We're going to say, yep, we do want to replace everything on those pages. And then once you have this, we literally have the full journal put together. So we can come back to the front page here. I am going to turn off and hide that background. And let's say that we think this is good to go, but we want to see the whole thing without those grid lines. Come over here, remove all grid lines. There you go. There's your cover. Now, what I would recommend is if you want to spice up the back cover, and I don't want to make this video too long, but I think I've kind of shown you everything you can do inside of here, or just a small piece of it actually, I would take screenshots of this once you download it and upload them and put them on the back cover right here so that the customer on Amazon can see exactly what it is that you have created and what you are selling. So you can go through all these pages and see what you've created, which looks good to me. And once you're happy with it, okay, once you're happy, you're like, yep, I am ready to upload this to Amazon. All you need to do, okay, is go up to Project, and you want to download this as a project. You can download it in 2 different color types, okay, CMYK or RGB. Now, I recommend that you download this project as CMYK if you're doing paperback books, because that is what Amazon says to do. But I would recommend that you save your project so that you can come back and edit this in the future if you want to. Okay, so let's download this as a CMYK, and I'll show you exactly what it looks like. So we'll download this, and it'll say, hey, it's preparing your project file, and it's going to download everything in one zip file. Okay, that's important because you're going to need to unzip this file on your computer in order to upload these to Amazon. So right here, it is downloading, and you'll see training video, and that is because it is downloading the name of the project that we gave it. So I'm going to go ahead and open that, and I'm going to bring it over here so that you guys can see this. Now right here, you're going to see 2 different files. One is going to be the paperback cover. I'm going to expand this so you can see it. You'll see the paperback cover, so that is uploaded to KDP as the cover. It's going to have the name of the project that you created in the studio, how large it is. It's a 6x9 size. It has 100 pages. It's bleed, and it's in CMYK color. So if we go ahead and click on this, you'll see this file. This is a PDF. This is exactly what you will be uploading to Amazon. Now, if we open up this one right here, we will see this is the front page and each individual page inside of the interior. Now, let me bring this right up here so you can see this. We also included a sources file, okay? So if you open these up, you're going to see what's called JSON files. These are really important because what you can do is, let's say you've lost access inside of here, you deleted a project, right? Let's say you came up to My Projects, you deleted this one by mistake, and you want to upload that same project again. All you would need to do is open up a new project, come up here to Project, come up here to Page, and then you want to load from a file. This is going to allow you to download, or upload those source files that you saw, even if you don't have anything saved, and it's going to upload every single thing for you inside of the studio so that you can actually come through and start editing again from scratch. Now, on the flip side of that, let's say that you wanted to take this design that you've created and use it in any other software. We have included something like that too. You can actually export single pages as PDFs or SVGs. So let's say on the cover here, I wanted to export this one. Make sure it's selected, come up here, export to SVG, and then we'll open this up. And as you will see, this is a very, very large file. So I'm going to scroll out a little bit. This whole thing, I can save it. This is an SVG of our cover. Okay, this works for every single one of these pages. I can come down here and do this as well. So that is how to use the BookBolt Studio. You now have both pieces of your low content book, and then head over to Amazon KDP and upload your first book, your 10th book, your 100th book. It's really all about putting both of those pieces together and getting them up on Amazon. So I really do appreciate everyone who has stuck around to the end. Hopefully you've gotten a ton of value out of this training series. I really hope to see you inside of BookBolt because we've been working really hard to build all of these different modules and tools out for you. I think it is going to skyrocket your business if you put what we've gone over into practice. Okay, so don't just sit there and learn about the process. You need to put those into practice and actually get some books up. The more books you put up, the more you are going to learn and the easier this business is going to become. And at the end of the day, you're going to have a ton of fun for it. So thank you so much, guys. I really do appreciate it, and I hope to see you inside. Thanks.